Hi everybody, and welcome back to Life in Media. Today I am here with Nikila Cole, who is a fantastic director who has done so many different kinds of interviews, and she's going to share a little information with us about how we can look good on interviews. Okay, so hi Nikila, thank you so much for coming.
No worries. I'm really happy to be here. It's a subject that people don't really know a lot about. And so many more people are doing things online and using YouTube and using blogs and all that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm happy to talk about it. I'm used to being on the other side of the interviewing situation. So normally I'm telling other directors and students how to conduct an interview. So this is basically going to be my thoughts being on the receiving end as a director of things people do, people don't do, just ideas and thoughts about that. So I'm happy to share.
Okay, so my first question for you was, what are some of the biggest mistakes that people do when they are in an interview situation?
Okay. First of all, the most important thing when you're preparing for an interview is to understand, do some research and understand the situation you're going into. It's sort of like knowing your audience. So in other words, an interview that you might be doing for a job interview online or an audition or whatever would be completely different than an interview you were doing for, say, Kelly Ripa, if you were going to be on one of the morning shows. So it's really important because that's going to set the tone, what you're going to wear, how are you going to look, what the sort of mood is going to be. So you want to make sure that, you just want to be prepared. That's the most important thing. And understand where you're going and who you're talking to. Who's the ultimate viewer going to be? I think that's the most important thing. People tend to get really, really nervous about being on camera. And one of the most important things, I think, the most important word I can say to that is editing. It's really, there's so much that we do behind the scenes, and everybody does now in terms of editing, that you really don't have to worry. Of course, if it's live streaming, that's a different story. But for the most part, most people aren't doing that. They're doing interviews that they should basically relax about, because the worst thing to do is to be very stiff and uptight and nervous, because then if there's a director involved or an interviewer involved, then everybody has to work so hard just to get the person to relax. So relaxation is probably the most important thing now. How do we relax?
That's my second question for you.
So there's lots of different methods. I mean, different people do different things short of drinking. No, don't get into the wine. But do things like maybe meditate or deep breathing. I think you mentioned in your last blog. Take a good walk around the block. Get rid of some energy, because people, I think, get nervous, and so there's all this crazy energy going on sometimes. So everybody knows, I think, as an adult, hopefully, that the things that work for them to help them relax. You can do shoulder exercises, releasing. You can just, I think you've done some of these, and you were asking me about blinking.
Yes.
Blinking.
I find that I have a tendency of doing that a lot. How do we get rid of something like that?
Okay, so blinking, it is a nervous thing, obviously. So the more relaxed you are, the better. I think one of the things you can do is just to squeeze tight and then open wide, and just get
squeeze tight and open wide.
Okay. Yeah, like any other muscles. These are muscles around the eyes that are just basically either sort of spasming or nervous or whatever. So another thing you can do is just blink 10 times just to get it out of your system. Blink, 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 blink.
Remember, keep blinking, keep blinking.
Right. Eventually the eyes go, okay, I've had enough blinking. It may work, it may not. I think the most important thing is to relax. Knowing who your audience is really important, because for the most part in television land, in lifestyle programming in particular, we're always wanting to see a person's real personality. Okay. So, and that should be interesting, animated, not cautious. Again, you can always edit.
Yeah.
And you want to, smiling is great, just like you're smiling now. You want to make sure that you're not doing an interview that people are going to be going, oh my goodness, that person's depressing me, or it's so difficult. Unless, of course, you're doing an interview about a murder trial or something, which is different, then of course that's a whole different situation. But generally speaking, I would say remember to smile, remember to relax, remember to be yourself, and don't worry, because worrying takes up a lot of energy. And And trust the interviewer. If you are being interviewed by someone, let them take the lead and let them help you along if you're struggling.
Okay, that sounds like really good advice.
Does that make sense?